what we have. I have nerves. How did you...
Trying to...
Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
We're
and then
learning.
Just kind of twist it until it gets tight.
We're learning so much. Okay, cool. I'm so nervous I can't even talk. And that never happens to me because there's nothing I love more than talking. Alright. Oh, I think we're recording on everything.
Every available device.
It might be. Don't. Well, I will try to not jostle.
Alright. I just make stuff up most of the time. Okay.
Woo!
Ooh!
Guys!
Hi!
We have actual recording equipment in the house! Merry Christmas to Remember Twilight podcast.
Yeah, hey.
Thanks to our beautiful, beautiful patrons and Emily.
Yep.
For providing the equipment.
Making the dream work.
Oh my gosh.
Work something.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is so exciting. I don't know where to put my mouth. I don't know where to laugh. I'm afraid I'm going to be too loud and obnoxious, but it looks like the levels are right.
We're in the green zone. Also, if you're too loud, I can fix it later.
Oh.
So, don't worry too much about this. This
Genius.
just makes it so we're not super obnoxious the whole time, I think.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right, cool. All right.
Very good.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Let's do it.
Oh boy. Hey.
Weird. Cool. All right.
Don't freak me out like that, man.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh.
Hold on.
Hey.
I'm gonna do a very gentle scooch.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Okay.
Everything is anew.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Emily.
And I am Marin.
And this is
Remember Twilight.
Do we sound different?
I hope so.
I hope so. We have stuff.
We have so much stuff, and for all that work, we better sound different.
Yep. This week we are talking about chapter 12, Intruder.
Nope.
We're not?
Are we not?
Oh.
Are we on...
I opened the wrong one. We're talking about chapter 13.
Killer. And,
oh my goodness. Last week we talked about Intruder.
Oh man. Remember last week?
No, what happened?
What? Well, Bella was like, I'm finally going to get some sleep, even though I'm the saddest person in the world, when what to her wondering ears should appear, but a screech across the window.
Yep.
And a jump up from a Bella and a big, huge, beautiful brown boy hanging from her tree.
Yes, and a squirrel fling.
And then Jacob was like, you have to guess what's going on. I can't tell you. You have to guess. And she's like, oh my gosh, get out of my house. I don't want you here. And then he's like, listen, you got to guess. You got to figure it out. And then Bella passed out.
Oh, Bella.
And then she had a dream. And then she figured it out.
Perfect.
And then she was like, oh crap, I got to go talk to Jacob. And then Charlie was like, guess what? The wolves have been killing everybody. And then Bella was like, wait a minute. What's happening?
Right.
So Bella has an idea.
So now she's going to go confront Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's where we are? Perfect.
Yes. That's exactly where we are.
I literally read this not 2 days ago. Already forgot. She does decide to go and talk to Jacob about it instead of just calling him or ignoring him.
Yeah.
Because it's her best friend.
Yeah.
And she wants to hear his side of the story.
Exactly. I think over the past year, she has decided that communication is important.
Yeah, definitely.
She wants to talk to people instead of just make assumptions and do Google searches.
Yep, so she hops in her truck and she heads towards the bush. It's very early, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bella immediately believes and accepts that Jacob is a murderer, but she always refused to believe that Edward, who actually killed people, was a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's like, no, you're perfect. You're not bad. And then immediately she's like, Jacob's killing people. I think it's so funny. Why?
It's very interesting.
Why does she do that?
But yeah, good point. I don't know. Let's see. She gets over to the Black's house. It's very early. There's no lights on. She bangs on the door until Billy wakes up. He tells her to come in. And then he's surprised when she walks in. So does he just... I mean, I guess they're just used to, like, whoever's knocking on their door is a friend.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, someone's
like,
knocking, come
up
in.
there banging on the door like that, it's gonna be one of those dumb boys.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my gosh, come in. And then little tiny Bella walks in and he's like, no, what? I didn't, what are you doing here?
What are you doing?
I couldn't not answer the door like I not answer the phone.
She asks him, hey, do you know what Charlie's doing this morning? And he goes, should I? Well, him and everyone else are out in the woods with guns hunting giant wolves.
Yes! She's being such a badass.
Mm-hmm.
I love her.
So I'd like to talk to Jake about that, if you don't mind. Billy, well, I guess he's probably asleep. And then he tries to be gross. He doesn't try, he is. He's out a lot these days. He needs his rest. You probably shouldn't wake him.
Ew.
It's my turn, I said.
I love
am
her.
Bella. She flings open the door, and he is asleep. Sideways.
She doesn't know if he sleeps naked. Why is she just
care.
opening the door?
And Beatty.
What if he's there naked? Oh, I care.
His head and his feet are both hanging off of the bed, but he's sideways even, so...
He's diagonal.
I would rather have a full leg off of a bed than my head. You know what I mean?
Just hanging.
No, thank you. She looks at him, she notices he looks very tired and very young now that he doesn't have his new angry face.
He's a little puppy. His sweet little puppy Jakey, taking a nap.
And then she slowly closes the door and walks back out and says, I think I'll let him get some rest.
She doesn't want to wake up that little puppy.
Yeah. She understandably doesn't want to hang out with Billy, so she tells him she's going to go to the beach and to send Jacob down when he wakes up. She gets to the beach. It's still dark outside, so she has to very carefully walk across the rocks, which is very hard to do even when it is very bright outside.
It's all rocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's really scary.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's still dark outside, and it's kind of cloudy and rainy, and she's going to the beach by herself. Bella, I'm so nervous. She's not afraid of humans, though.
No, she doesn't care. No. I found what I was looking for before I realized I was looking for it. It materialized out of the gloom when it was just a few feet away. A long, bone-white driftwood tree stranded deep on the rocks. The roots twisted up at the seaward end, like 100 brittle tentacles. I couldn't be sure that it was the same tree where Jacob and I had our first conversation, but it'll do.
We've been to that tree.
Yeah, I have a picture in front of it.
That tree exists on the beach.
It's enormous.
So
it's
big,
like
so
3
beautiful.
times as tall as I am.
Oh.
Bella is now not angry at Jacob because he's just a sweetie baby who just got caught up in everything.
Okay, but then what is she doing? She goes, Jacob was my friend whether he killed people or not. Excuse me? What do you think, Emily? What if I was killing people? I think if you were killing people, I would turn you in. I wouldn't be like, she's my friend
that's just
no
what
matter
she does.
what. No matter what. I mean, probably you would still be my friend no matter what, but honestly, I I would turn you in. I'd be like, there has to be a change. I'd still come visit you at jail, maybe.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know. It's so nervous.
Yeah, it's a very interesting situation to find yourself in.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. And then she goes, when I pictured him sleeping so peacefully, I felt an overpowering urge to protect him. Well, 'cause he's your boy. He's your son.
My son. Well, she goes, I couldn't turn a blind eye to what was happening like Billy was, but I also couldn't condemn Jacob for it either. Love didn't work that way, I decided.
Oh, no.
Once you cared about a person, it was impossible to be logical about them.
Maybe? I don't think so.
Oh, boy. Just then, Jacob shows up.
Oh, hi, Bella.
Hi, Bella.
And when he came down, he walks down to the beach, and I was like, oh, Jakey B.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he woke up, and Billy was like, what are you gonna have for breakfast? And then just, like, very quietly was like, Bella came by. And Jacob probably just jumped up and was like, bye.
Yep.
Where is she?
Where is she?
Yeah, sniffed her out.
Yes. Jakey B is a little shy about this, and he's also walking very silently across all of the rocks. He tells her, it didn't take you very long. I knew you could figure it out. She goes, yep, I remember the right story now. And then Jacob gets very, very defensive all of a sudden and tells her, you should have just called.
Oh, no.
They have a very misunderstood conversation in which Bella thinks it's the wolves that are killing people, and how could Jacob not care that people were getting hurt? And Jacob gets very angry that Bella has such a double standard and that she would accept Edward for being a vampire, but not him for being a wolf.
Guys, I love this misunderstanding. It's so funny. Like, it's my favorite misunderstanding of all time. Because the way they argue about it, and they're both being so dumb, and it's so funny. I love it. It made me laugh so hard.
Well, I'm so sorry that I can't be the right kind of monster for you, Bella. I guess I'm just not as great as a bloodsucker, am I? Bella screams at him. No, you're not. It's not what you are, stupid. It's what you do. Well, what's that supposed to mean? And then, ghost word.
I know, we get a hello from ghost word in here.
Be very careful, Bella.
Oh.
Don't push him too far. You need to calm him down.
And then she's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yep. But I'll do whatever you say, ghost word.
She goes, I would do anything for that voice. And I had a very big moment where I was like, I miss Edward so much. I miss Edward so much. He is the voice of reason in all these weirdos.
Surprisingly.
Him! The most dramatic of all. The most, oh, I'm broody, doody, moody. He's the voice of reason. He's the one who's like, calm, cool, collected, listen, chill. Ugh, I miss him.
Jacob, is it really necessary to kill people? Isn't there some other way? I mean, if vampires can find a way to survive without murdering people, can't you give it a try too?
And then he's so funny. He just like stands up really straight. And then really big eyes, really high eyebrows. So funny. Killing people? What?
Is that all? Really? You're just scared because I'm a murderer? That's the only reason? He's laughing so hard. Isn't that enough? Jacob Black, this is so not funny. Still laughing. He comes over and just grabs her in a very, very big hug and goes, you really don't mind that I turn into a giant dog?
This is the best reaction that he could possibly do. Like, he's like, oh, Bella, you big, beautiful idiot. And just scoops her up and just hugs her. You love me even though I'm a disgusting monster. Well, of course she does.
You're only mad because you think I kill people.
Bella.
Bella, listen. I don't kill people. Really? Really? They apologize to each other. Bella says she still doesn't understand what is happening in the woods, what's up with all the missing hikers and all the blood. And he goes, we're trying, Bella. We try to protect everyone, but we just are always a little bit too late. And she goes, protect them from what? Is there really a bear out there too?
And then he's really sweet. He and Charlie both call her honey all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really sweet. It's such a sweet term of endearment. He's like, Bella, honey, we only protect people from one thing. Our one enemy. It's the reason we exist, because they do.
Mm-hmm. And then suddenly Bella realizes what he's saying. Laurent, he's still here. Jacob, who's Laurent? You know, the guy in the meadow, you were there. And Jacob's like, oh yeah, him? That was his name? Well, we killed him a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
It was easy.
This is so good. She's like sitting there thinking, and she's like, oh my gosh, you were there. And you kept him from killing me. Like, it's a big thing for her. And I love this, like, this beautiful opening up and finally no more secrets. It is the thing that brings them back together.
Mm-hmm.
Is that they get rid of all the pretense. Like, they can talk about anything again. And this is even more open than they were before. Because before, she couldn't talk to him about Edward at all, or the vampires, or anything. And now, there's zero wall between them.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has been completely broken down, and they can talk about literally everything. I love it. It brings them back together as friends. It makes their relationship so much closer.
Mm-hmm. Bella is relieved as hell to learn about this news, but it doesn't last long because there's still hikers going missing. Also, why did Jake say it was unsafe for him to be at her house? He goes, I didn't say it wasn't safe for me. I was thinking of you. What do you mean, she says. He goes, well, there's more than one reason I'm not supposed to be around you. First of all, I wasn't supposed to tell you that we're werewolves. And the second thing is because if I get too mad or too upset, you might get hurt. She thinks about it. So when you were mad before, when I was yelling at you and you were shaking, he goes, yeah, that's pretty dumb. I swore I wasn't going to get mad, but then I thought about how sad it was going to be if I had to lose you and started to wolf out. And Bella goes, you mean you don't need a full moon?
Oh my gosh. She's
Bella.
so cute.
So now the wonderment is, who is killing people now if Laurent is dead? Well, there were two of them. We thought the male would want, or his mate would want to fight us. Usually, they get pretty pissed off if you kill their mate. But she just keeps running away and coming back and running away and coming back, and it'd be way easier if we knew what she was looking for.
And poor Bella. Bella is in a tunnel. There's a tiny pinpoint of light in front of her. Her body starts to absolutely die. She turns around, starts throwing up literally nothing into the beach. Like, absolute first time she's ever actually been afraid of something that was appropriate to be afraid of.
True. Yeah, she's a dry heave all over the place.
Oh, poor Bella.
Oh no, it's Victoria. She's the one who's killing people. Charlie's out there. Oh no. Jacob does his very best to make sure that Bella doesn't concuss herself because she's just a sweaty puppet leaning to the left, to the right, to the back.
A sweaty puppet is so gross.
She says this, Victoria isn't Laurent's mate. They're just friends. And Jacob goes, do you need some water or a doctor?
Poor Jakey.
No, I'm not sick. I'm scared.
He's not trained for this.
No.
The Cullens are. He's not. He's like, oh, what do I do? I'm only 16.
That's a sweaty puppet, help. He goes, you're scared of this Victoria? And she goes, yes. Victoria is the red-haired female? Yes. She tells him the whole story of Twilight and how Edward killed James, and now Victoria has a vendetta against Bella.
Yeah, she tells him about the evil hand.
Yep.
I love it!
It's really good.
I love her telling him everything.
And she goes, I guess she still doesn't know that things aren't like that with us anymore, not for Edward anyway.
I like, Jacob is such a great friend right here. So, at the end of page 314, she goes, Edward killed James. I whispered. Jacob held me so tight that there was no need for me to clutch at the hole. He kept me in one piece. I just think he's being such a good friend, and it's so much easier when there aren't any secrets.
Yeah.
My heart is growing this Christmas season because of Jakey. It's so good.
He asks her if that's why the Cullens left. And Bella goes, well, I'm nothing but a human after all. Nothing special.
No, Bella. You are the special.
Jacob is a growl about this. If that idiot bloodsucker is honestly stupid enough.
I mean, for reals, though.
Yeah.
I agree with him.
Yeah.
Yes, Jacob's right.
She stops him, please don't. He hesitates for a second and then he nods.
Good job.
This is important. This is exactly what we needed to know. I have to tell the others right now.
Cool. Communication. Got it. Like, duh. They could have talked to her anytime. Anytime they knew.
Literally.
They knew she was with the vampires. They knew she knew. Why didn't they talk to her, like, last year when she was with Edward?
For real.
So dumb. Guys.
Jacob takes Bella back to the car, props her against the side, takes a quick wolf break to clue in the rest of the pack on what's going on. Bella climbs into the truck and hyperventilates.
Do you think he took his pants off first?
Yeah, I mean...
You got to.
You got to. They're running low on shorts. When Jacob comes back, he dumbly taps on the window.
Poor Bella.
Instead
Not
of
in this state.
Talking like, hey, Bella, I'm coming back. Nope. Just, I'm going to creep up and tap, tap, tap. She unlocks the door. Trembling, he notices that she is actually very scared. But don't be. We'll take care of you and Charlie too, I promise. She goes, the idea of you finding Victoria is way scarier than the idea of her finding me.
No.
And he's like, stop it. We got this.
Bella. Classic Bella.
Yep.
Thinking that the monsters are not stronger than I don't.
Well, she still doesn't even understand how strong a vampire is, so it makes sense that she doesn't understand.
Good point.
When he explains the telepathy to her.
But then she's like, what is it, a secret? Not really. It's kind of weird, though. I don't want to freak you out. And I'm like, not possible.
Yeah, she's like, it's not that weird. Edward could do that too.
Bella is too good with weird.
Yep.
Too good.
And, oh no, I thought those were just stories. Vampires can do extra stuff.
Oh.
She's like, yep.
You don't even know.
Lots of extra stuff. Okay, time to go meet Sam.
My crush on Sam is getting bigger.
Oh.
Just so you know.
She asks him if that's what he was doing, if he was talking to Sam. He nods, he's embarrassed. He's like, yep, I kept it really short and I made sure to, like, peace out before they realized that you were with me. Because if Sam told me that I couldn't bring you, I literally couldn't have brought you.
Yeah.
And Bella's like, well, that wouldn't have stopped me.
Well.
And Jacob's like, yes, but I could very easily stop you. Which is what would have happened, and that wouldn't have been good. He tells her about how bad the, like, alpha
power
is, about how the reason he couldn't even, like, talk to her last night is because he was specifically told not to tell her.
Ugh.
Which is gross.
Rude.
He tells her about Sam, how he's the alpha. When he tells us to do something or not to do something, you cannot ignore him. She goes, weird.
It is weird, and I'm a little bit like, I mean, I know it's all magic and it's all kind of like this supernatural thing, but it's like, I don't understand it, and I don't get it. Like, it's like a mind thing, and it's just mind over matter, but the alpha's totally in charge of even what you say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
Nope, it's bad. He talks about how weird all of the wolf things are, but that he feels very lucky because at least he had the others help. Unlike Sam, who had to go through everything alone. Mm-hmm. And Bella suddenly is like, oh, maybe Sam's not the bad guy. I guess I shouldn't hate him anymore. She asks if they're going to be mad at him for bringing her. He says, probably. But Bella has the inside vamp scoop, so they might not be too mad.
Yeah, they should really be like embracing it and be like, yes, please bring your little girl in and have her tell us everything.
Yeah, but that makes Bella feel very, very weird because she wasn't like spying on the Cullens, but now she has all of this like secret info on them, and she wants them to kill Victoria, but not actually. She just didn't want Jacob to have to stop her. So she's kind of nervous about this meeting.
She has the right to be super nervous about this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is all brand new for her, and she doesn't want to betray her, her family, the Cullens, but they left her all alone. I don't know. She's got to get rid of Victoria.
Yep.
So she braves up. She decides to do it.
Jake asks her if she thinks that Victoria has any powers, and she goes, I don't know. Edward probably would have mentioned it. She doesn't say Edward. She says, I think he would have mentioned it. And Jacob goes, he? Oh, you mean Edward. Oops, sorry, I forgot you don't like to say his name or hear it.
Jakey.
She goes, not really, no. How do you know me so well, Jacob? Sometimes it's like you can read my mind. Nah, I just pay attention.
He really, really does. Oh my gosh, he doesn't miss a thing about her.
And they get there, she pulls over. He says, you're still pretty unhappy, aren't you? And she just nods. He goes, do you think that maybe you're better off?
Oh, no. Yuck.
No. Because he wasn't the best. Please, Jacob. Could we not talk about this?
I mean, like, seriously, after the night she had, and then the morning she has had, the last thing they need to do is have the Edward conversation.
Yeah, you already know.
Ugh.
So don't make me say it out loud.
It's so painful.
She goes, don't feel bad for asking, though. If things were different, it would be nice to finally be able to talk to someone about it. And he goes, yeah, I had a hard time keeping a secret from you for 2 weeks. It must be hell not to be able to talk to anyone. She agrees. The wolves are here, so let's go.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
Ha ha.
But I got out of the truck, hurrying around to the front end to stand close beside Jacob. I remembered only too clearly the giant monsters in the meadow. My hands were trembling like Jacob's had been before, but with fear rather than rage. And then Jake grabs her hand and squeezes it. Here we go.
Here we go.
Bella and Jacob are so lucky to have each other right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. He goes through absolute hell in Eclipse and Breaking Dawn, but for now, their friendship is everything. Like, they are solid, strong. And this is where I get back around the circle where I'm like, this is where I can see why people love Team Jacob. Because he starts to just be, like, absolutely solid and stalwart, ever stalwart. And he's a good friend right now, and he remains a good friend until Edward comes back. Now, it's understandable that after Edward comes back, Jacob's going to be like, oh my gosh, girl! But
remember everything that just happened?
you can't stop true love, though.
Nope.
Oh. So, I really like this. It was another, like, really dialogue-heavy chapter.
Yeah.
But it was cool dialogue where they're, like, they're apologizing, they're forgiving, they're getting back together, they're standing now as a front together to fight against Victoria and what's happening there. And this is the first time that, Bella's been able to be completely honest with Jacob, and that he's always wanted to be honest with her, and she's always been so closed off. And now they don't have anything standing between them anymore, and I love it. It's so good. Well, so that's the end of our chapter for this week. Join us again next week, and thank you for remembering New Moon with us.
Yeah, we love you guys.
We love you so much. And remember, when you run into the woods for a secret wolf meeting, take off your pants first. Woo!
Wee woo. Bye.
Bye. Click, 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 click. turn off everything.
Pause.
This is a click. We can click on that. Oh, I can't hear myself anymore. I wonder how that sounded.